Hey guys, welcome to Cooking in Manhattan. The last time you saw me, I was pregnant, and now here is the new member of the Cooking in Manhattan family. Her name is Erica, and she's going to be helping me as soon as she can walk and move around, preparing some delicious meals. Now let's get cooking, because today I have a quick and easy chicken pot pie that is perfect when you have a lot in your hands and you really want a nurturing and delicious meal. Let's take a look at the ingredients for our fast and easy chicken pot pie. I have about half a cup of onion and half a cup of celery. Then I have half a cup of yellow pepper and half a cup of orange pepper, but you can use red or green if you have those. I have 2 cups of mushrooms because I really like mushrooms with chicken. And then I have 2 chicken breasts that I cubed myself. Then I'm going to be dredging the chicken breast with a little bit of flour. Of course, I will season everything with salt, and I will cook everything with a little bit of canola oil so we can withstand a higher temperature. And then finally, I'm going to cover my chicken pot pie with some crescent rolls. You can find the brand that you like. This one is Pillsbury, and it's very, very good. And it's going to be perfect for this recipe. Step number 1, we're going to saute the vegetables. I'm going to put about 1 tablespoon of canola oil in the pan over medium heat, and then I'll quickly add also my vegetables. I'll cook the vegetables until the onion gets translucent. Really, the onion here is the best indicator of how cooked the vegetables are. As you notice, I left the mushrooms out because I really want that mushroomy flavor to be the star of the show, so I'll cook them later. I'll just give it a quick toss like this, and then in a couple of minutes we'll check. In the meantime, while our vegetables are cooking, I'm going to dredge the chicken cubes with a little bit of flour. You will notice that I do that in batches because the pan is not a very big one and you don't want to crown it too much. So I'll just lightly dredge it, say 2 handfuls at a time, and then I will let them be until the rest of the vegetables are actually cooked. I'm going to season my mixed vegetables with a pinch of salt, and then I'll give it a quick stir, and I'll set them aside because now finally the onions are translucent, so the vegetables are perfectly al dente. So I have a bowl over here, and I'm going to just move all the vegetables. Okay. Coming up next, the mushrooms. I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of canola oil to the same pan that I was using before, and now it's time for the mushroom. I'm using cremini mushroom, but you can use pretty much anything you have at home. The white ones, the shiitake, they all work. And even for the mixed vegetables that we use at the beginning, you pretty much can use anything. If you like broccoli, you can use broccoli or cauliflower. It's going to be very tasty anyway. So I'm going to saute these. Actually, I'll add the salt right now because I want these mushrooms to actually release all the juices that they have, which are going to be really delicious and very mushroomy. So here it is, and then we'll check in a couple of minutes to see how they look. So the mushrooms are perfectly cooked too, and I'm going to add them to our bowl. And next we're going to be cooking the chicken finally. I put 2 more tablespoons of canola oil in my pan, and now I'm going to saute the chicken. As you can see, I'll saute in batches so that we create a nice little crust on the outside of the chicken cubes. And also, I forgot to mention one particular ingredient, that is vegetable broth. We will add it to the pan so that we can create some type of roux, which is really a combination of a liquid plus fat plus flour. So at this point, I'm going to saute the chicken, then I'll show you how it looks, and then we'll saute everything together before we add, before we place all the ingredients into our pots, and then we cover with puff pastry. I'm salting my chicken. As you can see, we salted all the ingredients separately because we want to make sure that everything really tastes very good. And we will also taste at the end before we put everything in the bowls, so that in the pots, so that we can make sure that everything tastes and it's perfectly salted. Now that the outside of my chicken cubes is perfectly caramelized and it's cooking properly, I'm going to add about 1 cup of vegetable broth. As you can see, this is store-bought because I just didn't have time to make it myself, but it's good nonetheless. Smells really, really good. So now this is going to create a roux, which means that the sauce will thicken as the chicken keeps cooking. And then we'll add all the ingredients back together to make all the flavors mix and mingle. And finally, we'll taste it and we'll make sure that there is enough salt for everyone. And then we'll cover it with nice puff pastry. As you can see, the sauce is thickening, so now it's time to reintroduce all the vegetables into the pan. So all the flavors are going to be perfectly mixed together. In the meantime, I also preheat my oven at about 375 degrees Celsius or Fahrenheit? Wait, that's Celsius. No, that's Fahrenheit, right? Wait, camera guy. What is it? Fahrenheit? Okay, good. It's Fahrenheit. Sorry, guys. The imperial system and the mom brain every now and then takes the best of me. I'm going to turn this off. Okay, and now we'll taste it for seasoning, and then we'll put it in the pot. So I adjusted the salt on the mixture of chicken and vegetables because it was lacking a little bit. But now, so it's better always if you do it at the end. And now I'm dividing my chicken and vegetable mixture in 4 large ramekins. These are the same ones that I used for my very wintry but also very tasty French onion soup. And they come in handy when you make a chicken pot pie too. But if you don't have these and you want to use regular bowls, more or less like these, make sure that they are oven safe because you don't want to have them exploding in the oven. You don't want that type of mess, especially if you then have to clean it up too. Okay, so we are ready. Let's see. Let's make sure that all the goodness of the sauce actually ends up in the pots. And then, okay, did I do a good job? I think this one has too much. Okay, let's put it in here. Okay, and now it's time for this. Or if you have puff pastry, or if you have a little bit of, you know, regular dough that you use even for bread, or even for pretty much anything like pie crust, that will do too, because we're not too picky. This is a quick and easy recipe. So here we are. We have our puff pastry. As you can see, it's a little bit too big for this, so I'm going to quickly just cut it over here. And then I'll add this over here. It doesn't have to be too perfect because, you know, we're at home and we just want some comfort food for a change. Here we go. Oh, this one actually was a little closer. Great. Here we go. And then I'll put a little bit more on the sides, just in case we want a little bit leftover crust, because the crust is so good after all. Okay, here we go, and this we put over here. Okay, and the great thing about this is that you don't even need to use a fork to punch the dough, because as you can see, the dough has holes already. So I'm gonna finish up and then I'll put them in the oven for about 15 minutes. Now, if you want to make it really super perfect, and maybe you have friends coming over and you want to make a good impression, you can put an egg wash on top, which is basically a mixture of beaten egg and water. So equal parts of beaten egg and water. If you don't want to do that, it's really good and tasty anyway. Here it is, just hot off the oven. Let's give it a little try. That's my favorite part, you know that, right? Golden brown and delicious. Smells amazing. It's so tasty. And it's also so hot. Sorry guys, I just burned my tongue. Anyway, it's a very simple, easy recipe. I hope you enjoyed looking at it, and I hope you will make it. If you have any question, don't forget to ask me in the comment box down below, or you can contact me on lemonade25.com, squeezing 1 more hour out of every day. I will see you again on the next Cooking in Manhattan, but now turn off the computer and get cooking. Ciao!